2026 is upon us, but investors have muted expectations, considering the fact that we've come off 3 strong years in the S&P 500. We've largely seen technology lead the way, with themes like AI and cybersecurity. However, moving into 2026, I do expect those themes to continue to work, but I also expect more of a broadening to go on in the market. But not all investors have time to look at hundreds of different stocks to diversify their portfolio. The easiest way to diversify your portfolio or play a theme is through the use of ETFs. As such, in today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 of the best ETFs I consider investing in for 2026. And no, I'm not going to waste your time looking at S&P 500 or VTI. I'm looking at real themes in these 5 ETFs today. So make sure you stay tuned throughout the entirety of today's video. And if you find any value, make sure you hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel, and let's roll the intro. Hey everyone, Mark Roussin here, back for another video. As always, I'm a CPA and not a financial advisor, so please do not take this as financial advice. And before we begin, let me thank today's video sponsor, which is The Motley Fool. The Motley Fool has a ton of great resources and products available for investors of all different levels. And right now, if you go to fool.com/Mark, you could check out their 10 best stocks to buy right now. All right, let's jump into our video taking a look at 5 different ETFs, and they all serve different purposes. We have income ETFs we're going to look at, growth ETFs, we're going to look at thematic exposure, sector-specific ETFs. So make sure you stay tuned throughout the entirety of the video. And let's jump right into it with ETF number 1, which is going to be VIG, or the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF. This is one of those stable type ETF holdings, that quiet compounder. You're going to have a lot more diversification across different sectors, but they love investing in companies that not only pay dividends, but pay growing dividends. That means stable cash flows. When it comes to VIG, the ETF currently has assets under management of $104 billion. And over the past 12 months, shares are up 17%, almost in line with the greater S&P 500. The expense fees are quite low at 0.05%, the lowest cost fund on our list today. So when it comes to VIG, it says it right in the name, the type of companies they're looking for, dividend appreciation. But for these companies, you got to have certain qualities. You got to have a strong balance sheet, and you got to have stable, growing free cash flow. Usually this leads to lower volatility. When it comes to VIG, they do lean a little bit more heavily towards technology, but not too heavy. So it's a way to still invest in technology, but also get broad exposure. Next is financials, healthcare, industrials, and consumer staples, rounding out the top 5 sectors within the ETF. The top holdings include Broadcom, Microsoft, Apple, JP Morgan, Eli Lilly, Visa, ExxonMobil, Johnson & Johnson, Walmart, and MasterCard. In total, the ETF has 343 total holdings, with the top 10 accounting for 35% of the entire ETF. In terms of the dividend that we speak of, it's a lower yield of 1.6%, but you get solid dividend growth, around 10% over the course of the past 5 years, and the dividend's been growing for 12 consecutive years. This ETF is going to work well as a core holding, especially for those looking for stability as well as income. And now we're going to head over to ETF number 2, which is going to be the Global X Cybersecurity ETF, stock ticker BUG. And heading into 2026, the themes continue to be similar. 2 in the technology that I continue to like is going to be AI as well as cybersecurity. The difference between these 2 themes is the fact that companies can in fact pull back on their AI spending. Where they can't afford to pull back on is in their cybersecurity spending. This day and age, cyber criminals are becoming more and more sophisticated with their attacks. When it comes to BUG, they currently have assets under management of $950 million, and over the past 12 months, shares are actually down 2%, making for a good entry point at these levels for a subsector that's been taking a breather, and the expense fee is at 0.51%. BUG is a great ETF for those looking to increase their cybersecurity exposure. It's going to be an ETF for growth, but it's going to give you broad. You don't have to try and pick 1 or 2 winners for your portfolio. You can get a whole bunch of them with BUG. To no surprise, the top sectors are, well, it's pretty simple. Almost 100% in the technology sector. The top holdings include Checkpoint, Fortinet, CyberArk, Palo Alto, Acme, CrowdStrike, Okta, Veronic Systems, Gen Digital, and Rubrik. In total, the ETF has 31 holdings, and the top 10 account for 55%. Cybersecurity isn't optional. It's essential infrastructure. And when it comes to bug, it's going to give you that diversified exposure to this particular sector that I believe is going to continue to grow in 2026 and beyond. And that's going to lead us to ETF number 3, which is going to be the iShares Future AI and Technology ETF, stock ticker ARTY. As we discussed with Bug, AI continues to be a huge growth area, and the spend is real. You'll hear many out there talking about bubble when it comes to AI, but we're seeing real dollars, real demand. Is there bubbles out there? Sure, there is. When you're looking at these companies that maybe they don't even have profits yet, and there's a high amount of speculation that goes into it. But for the large producers, there's a lot of demand, and there's real dollars flowing through. When it comes to ARTY, they currently have assets under management of $2.1 billion, and over the past 12 months, shares are up 37%. In terms of an expense fee, that sits just shy of 0.50%. Obviously, this ETF is going to be skewed heavily towards technology, but the unique thing about it, and the reason that I really like it, is the fact that it's really blending together those high growth but maybe smaller type companies, mid caps and small caps, mixed in with those large and mega cap companies. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds blended together. Taking a look here, the top sectors, to no surprise, is heavily skewed towards technology, taking up 85%, followed by industrials at 5%, communication at 4.5%, utilities at 2.5%, and there's a little real estate in there. The top holdings include Micron, Taiwan Semi, Nvidia, Naver, AMD, Marvell, Oracle, Broadcom, SK Hynix, and CoreWeave. In total, the ETF has 74 total holdings, with the top 10 accounting for over 42%. AI and automation continue to reshape a number of different industries, and we continue to see the spending not only stay consistent, but actually continue to grow. And with ARTY, you get that blend of those small caps that can give you a lot of growth, but maybe be a little bit more volatile, combined with those larger mega cap type companies. And that's going to lead us to ETF number 4, which is going to be the Financial Select Sector SPDR ETF, stock ticker XLF. And now we're transitioning. We've talked a lot about AI, technology, and we've even talked about cybersecurity. But one area that I think is truly going to work really well in 2026 is going to be that of financials. And there's a lot of tailwinds when you think about it when it comes to the financial sector, whether it's lower interest rates, whether it's going to be deregulation that we've heard a lot about with this particular administration, earnings growth, and continued economic growth, all tailwinds for the financial sector. When it comes to the sector breakdown, well, as you can imagine, it all goes towards financial companies. The top holdings include Berkshire, JP Morgan, Visa, MasterCard, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, and American Express rounding out the top 10. In total, the ETF has 80 holdings, and the top 10 account for 56%. And also with XLF, you also get a dividend of sorts at 1.3% dividend yield, a little dividend growth with a 5-year average of around 4% and 2 consecutive years of dividend growth. XLF is definitely one of those positions that's going to give you some cyclical exposure. But with the economy, deregulation, and my belief that we're going to see a lot more mergers and acquisitions heading into 2026, all of this benefits the financial sector, specifically these major banks. And that's going to lead us to our 5th and final ETF, which is going to be the Global X Copper Miner ETF, stock ticker COPX. And over the past year and at the start here of 2026, we've heard a lot about gold trading at a new record high, silver trading at a new record high, both of those precious metals having huge returns. Now, copper isn't considered a precious metal. It too is actually trading at a new record high. But the thing about those two precious metals, gold and silver, is a lot of that can be more fear-based. When it comes to copper, that's yet another way to play this entire spending that we've seen when it comes to AI. In terms of COPX, the ETF, they have assets under management of $5 billion, and over the past 12 months, it's up 105%. The expense fees are on the higher side at 0.65%. So a second ago, I talked about copper being a play on the investment we're seeing in AI. And let me explain. This is a basic material, but an essential material on the electrification, the infrastructure, and clean energy that goes into technology, AI, clean energy. And when you think about it, This is an investment towards the growth in EV. This is an investment and a need for data centers for a lot of the clean energy that is going on. Copper continues to see huge demand, and the supply is limited. S&P Global recently published an analysis stating that copper demand is likely to increase by 50% by the year 2040. Now, copper isn't a precious metal, but it might be time for us to start treating it like one because of its critical use. Taking a look more closely at the ETF, the top sectors include, 97% basic materials. And here's a look at the top holdings with a lot of names that you may have never heard of, but probably one of the most popular on the list is going to be Freeport-McMoRan. In total, the ETF has 46 holdings, with the top 10 accounting for nearly 50%. With COPX, you also get a dividend that yields roughly 2.5% right now, with a strong dividend growth rate over the past 5 years, and this dividend is actually paid out on a semi-annual basis. With COPX, you not only get exposure to copper miners across the globe, you get a product, a material that's in huge demand, particularly for EVs and all of the growth and investment that goes into AI. So there we just looked at 5 different ETFs to consider investing in for 2026, all of which I believe are going to do quite well in 2026. Now, of course, I can't guarantee anything, but this list was intended to give you some different ideas. We had income, growth, speculative, materials, and things like that. So VIG can be thought of as that core type investment. BUG and ARTY are going to be that growth type investment. You had financials, which is a little bit more of a cyclical investment. And then we ended with COPX, which is that material precious metal type investment. So again, I wouldn't go all in on any 5 of these all at once. I would look for areas, look at your portfolio. Where could you use some diversification when it comes to these ETFs? And in the comment section down below, let me know which of these 5 ETFs are you most high on heading into the rest of 2026, which we still have a long ways to go. I would love to hear that down in the comments. And if you found any value in this video, please show your appreciation just by simply clicking that like button down below, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.